So let me ask you a question. What is good? I know it sounds simple, right? But what if I told you that our feelings, our sense of pleasure, have been leading us completely astray? We're about to dive into a radical new way of defining good. And you might be surprised to hear it has way less to do with morality and, well, everything to do with physics.
So let's just start with this bombshell of a question. What if everything we instinctively associate with the word good, happiness, pleasure, comfort, ease, is actually just a distraction? What if good isn't a feeling at all, but a specific kind of action?
And this really gets to the heart of the whole thing. On one side, you've got immediate pleasure. It's the easy route, right? It's our default setting. But we all know that path can be, well, pretty harmful. Then, on the other side, you've got long-term well-being. This is the tough road, the path of resistance. It takes real, sustained effort, but it's the only one that actually creates lasting positive change. This tension, right here, is the key to everything.
Now, to really wrap our heads around this, we don't need some complex philosophy. Nope. The proof is something we all live with every single day. Our own bodies and their constant, relentless pull toward taking it easy.
I mean, it's a basic truth, isn't it? Our natural default setting as human beings is to seek comfort. We just prefer chilling out over putting in the work. It's basically how we're wired.
And the evidence is just everywhere. Think about it. It's almost always easier to gain weight than it is to lose it. Building and just maintaining a healthy body requires constant, nonstop effort. Our minds love to default to relaxation, and we're so conditioned to connect pleasure with the idea of good, even when those very pleasures can be super destructive. This is our starting point. This is our baseline.
Okay, but this tendency to default to ease, this isn't just a personal struggle. It's not even just a human problem. It's actually a reflection of a fundamental core law of the entire universe.
And that law? It's called entropy. You might remember it from a physics class. To put it simply, entropy is the rule that says everything in the universe, if you just leave it alone, will eventually fall apart. Systems naturally move from a state of order to a state of chaos. It's the universe's built-in slide into decay.
But against this massive, universal tide of chaos, there was one great, glorious exception: life. Life is the only thing we know of that actively works against entropy. It takes an energy to create and maintain order against that constant, crushing pressure of disorder.
So the logic here is actually incredibly clear. Step 1, the universe naturally trends toward chaos. That's a given. Step 2, life, all of it, from a single cell to us, has to constantly use up energy just to hold itself together, to create structure. Which leads us to this really powerful conclusion. The very act of being alive is a constant, moment-to-moment fight against total destruction. And it's this universal struggle that brings us right to the core of this whole idea. We're about to see how this constant fight against decay gives us a completely new, and I mean completely new, definition of good.
Okay, so let's just follow this train of thought. If we accept this premise, that just existing is an unending, effortful battle against the forces of decay and chaos,
Then what if good isn't some feeling or some abstract moral code? What if good is just the name we give to the actions we take in that fight? Anything that builds, anything that maintains, anything that creates order where there was chaos. And boom, here it is. This is the definition that emerges. Good is the set of concrete, actual, real-world actions that push back against entropy's effects. Actions that we aim at our own bodies or at the world around us. And, this is the most important part, actions that have nothing to do with feeling pleasure. In fact, they almost always require struggle. And this graph really says it all. This is the signature of a good action. Just look at the trade-off here. The immediate pleasure, it's low. Sometimes it's 0 or even negative. The effort you gotta put in, super high. But the long-term benefit, the actual creation of order, the real pushback against chaos, that's massive. It is the exact opposite of a harmful indulgence. So what does this all mean for us, really? What's the practical takeaway from looking at the world through this lens of order versus chaos? Now, I know what some of you are probably thinking. There's a really obvious counterargument, right? What about the tortured artist? You know, the brilliant but self-destructive scientist? These people create these amazing things, these incredible acts of good, but at the same time, they have habits that seem to totally embrace chaos in their own lives. So how does that fit?
Well, we have this very romantic idea that genius is born from pain and chaos. But maybe this framework suggests we're looking at it all wrong. We get so focused on their destructive behaviors that we fail to see their creations for what they really are: monumental acts of effort against the forces of destruction, creating incredible, beautiful order where there was none before.
And this leads to a really challenging question. What if that person hadn't given into those harmful, entropy-loving behaviors? Could a version of them that put even more effort into fighting decay, both in their work and in their own life, have created something even more profound, even better?
And so that leaves us with this final, incredibly powerful idea. Good isn't about feeling happy or sad, pleased or pained. It's just about the effort. It's an unlimited, ongoing effort in the fight with entropy. It's the struggle itself. The struggle to create and maintain order in a universe that is constantly and relentlessly trying to pull every single thing apart. And maybe that's the truest good of all.